This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Too much on the line, too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planets align, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, we keep going on now. Don't back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. The night is young, we're out and free. If you can, try to catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. We're in a game.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it. It does not matter who the host is. Anyways, how are you? I hope everything is good and grand on this lovely Monday. Yes, very lovely Monday. Anyways, today's Monday, December the 4th of 2023, day 338th of the year, and only 27 days left to go. Yep, that's it, 27. As the countdown to extinction continues, that is for sure. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, infiltration radio big is the combo of the world of the things that we do, no doubt about it. So there you go. Some things going on for sure as we get to hang and bang and do all the craziness around here. So if you're not familiar with the show, that's okay. We'll give you a brief descriptor of what the hell we do around here, because that makes it kind of the easiest process in regards of doing so. We talk about safety in the news and safety. That's kind of how the show kind of lays out. And we bring in some professional broadcasters to talk about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the news. And as that's going on, we come back, we hang out, we give some level of a main story for the most part, and that's it. If you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process. Callinradio.com. We'll get you moving and grooving in regards to doing that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine too. We are a radio station first that then does some other things such as podcasting and video streaming. The video streaming, well, you can see right here if you're hanging out on good old, the different social media platforms. We used to release the video stream also on a podcast, but I think we stopped doing that. We're mostly just audio now. I don't know why. I mean, I think that it really varies from whatever the catcher is. I think you got to go to a particular podcast catcher for it to work. So that's why we stopped doing it, because it was like, hey, now we're only focusing on one system opposed to all. So there you go. So there is that. Let's talk about what is going to be trending, because that's going to be important. The trends are always important, so trending is an important remark.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I look at the trends of the ends, a historic landmark prepares for the worst, and two Pacific Airlines eye a merger. We'll talk about that. Felicity Huffman speaks out about college admission scandal, and Mark Cuban opens up about his reason his Let's see, business moves. We'll talk about that. Stephen Colbert returns, and HGTV star announces their exit. We'll talk about that in casting calls as we get into everything else that's going on inside of the world of what we do. So don't worry about that. So with that being said, let's see who's waiting in the wing today. Scott Carr is waiting. He has some news that he would love to cover with you. So let's go ahead and get that started for you right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Scott Carr. White House officials say U.S. intelligence was not aware of a Hamas document that outlined an attack like the one that was carried out in Israel October 7th. Speaking on NBC's Meet the Press, National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby referred to a New York Times article that claimed Israeli officials knew of Hamas's plans a year before the attack. The article claimed senior military officials dismissed key warnings, believing that such an attack could not be carried out. While an Israeli official says what his country's militaries had to do against Hamas is unprecedented in world history. Speaking with ABC's This Week, the Israeli Minister of Strategic Affairs, Ron Dermer, says no country has cared for civilians the way Israel has while fighting a war in such close quarters.
I don't think any other country, including the United States, I don't know if you ever faced a situation like this, would take such great care. So we agree with the United States that we want to do everything we can to reduce civilian casualties and to ramp up humanitarian assistance.
In New York City, police are still investigating a fatal stabbing in Queens that left 5 people dead and 2 police officers injured. Jacqueline Carl has more from New York.
Officials say it happened in Far Rockaway around 5 a.m. when police responded to a 911 call from a woman who said her cousin was killing her family. Police say the suspect, 38-year-old Courtney Gordon, fatally stabbed 4 family members, including a 12-year-old boy and an 11-year-old girl at the home, and then set fire to the couch before leaving. Police say the suspect slashed 2 police officers who were the first to arrive, one of whom then fatally shot the suspect.
A leading national health expert says the U.S. should experience a more typical flu and virus season this winter. Former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb tells CBS Face the Nation the level of RSV and flu cases is abating compared to epidemic numbers in past years. Scott Carr, NBC News Radio.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Israel's forces are pushing into southern Gaza, targeting Hamas command centres. Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu claims India's agreed to withdraw 75 soldiers posted in his country. A Hong Kong democracy activist says she skipped bail and moved to Canada, and Japan's considering postponing a landmark project to retrieve the world's first Martian moon surface samples.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
College football has announced the top 4 schools that will battle for a national title. Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama were picked by the playoff committee Sunday. In the semifinal round, top-ranked Michigan will face number 4 Alabama in the Rose Bowl, while second-ranked Washington takes on number 3 Texas in the Sugar Bowl. Over the weekend, Utah Governor Spencer Cox told CBS's Face the Nation colleges and universities in the country need to remain neutral on current events, so students will be encouraged to engage in dialogue on issues.
The institutions themselves need to be neutral so that we can have these disagreements. We want actually more disagreement on campus. We can disagree without tearing each other apart.
Cox chairs the National Governors Association. He says robust discussions have to take place on American college campuses, but that some students feel silenced when schools take sides on political issues.
What's happening, sadly, across the United States is too many of our universities have not followed the Chicago principles that were put out many years ago. They come out with very strong statements that are very political statements.
Cox points out that political issues and campus safety are 2 entirely different discussions. Alaska Airlines has announced plans to buy Hawaiian Airlines. Brad Ford reports the deal's valued at $1.9 billion.
Alaska Airlines would pay $18 per share for Hawaiian stock. Hawaiian closed at $4.86 on Friday. Alaska would also assume $900 million in debt from Hawaiian. The combined airline would be part of the One World Alliance that includes American Airlines, Airlines, British Airways, and Cathay Pacific. The deal needs approval of both boards, shareholders of Hawaiian Holdings, and U.S. regulators.
At least 4 people were killed, dozens injured when a bomb exploded during a Catholic Mass in the Philippines Sunday morning. It happened in the southern Philippines at a worship service inside a university gym. Military officials there believe the attack was retaliation following a military operation against pro-Islamic state groups. Scott Carr, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who'd you like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, there you go. Currently 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely, lovely Monday. Yeah, if it was any lovelier, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. There you go. That's some stuff to think about. Anyway, so let's talk about it because there's all kinds of things to talk about. You know, the tower from the commonly known as the Leaning Tower of Pizza. Well, as this day might be numbered, the city council in Italy has ordered the construction of a special metal barrier to contain the dust and debris of its tower's spontaneous collapses to minimize collateral damage and injuries. Now, this is not a joke as I'm saying this. Officials say that there's a necessity to anticipate if the tower imminent fall. But when does it happen? I don't know. But because if it happens suddenly, they want to be prepared. What do you think about this? I mean, it's been leaning for God knows how long. All of a sudden now this is a concern. It's kind of weird on how this ended up occurring, isn't it? So take a listen to this. Modern warfare. Israel Defense Forces have created an interactive digital map to warn people in Gaza where and when to expect offensive military maneuvers in order to minimize casualties. Airplanes have dropped leaflets with the QR codes that connect them to the map, which divides Gaza into hundreds of numbers of sections. Separate evacuation notices sent by text messages then pinpoint the corresponding areas to expect the IDF in advance. What do you think here? I mean, think about that. There's so many different things that you could do with that. I mean, they're all horrible in regards of what I would say here. But, I mean, just think about it. So we're going to do an attack in Section Z. So you should move to Section A. And everybody runs there and they attack Section A. There's all kinds of weird shit to think of.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, the Yale Daily News reports that the average grade point average for a student in Yale College is 3.7, and the last academic year, nearly 80% of all grades handed out were the average of A. The finding were first presented naturally by an economic professor at the school who showed the 10 points increase in the number of A grades dialed out over the last decade. One of Yale professors, Quiet, obviously points out to the Daily News that the results are is a compression, making it difficult for instructors to use grades for their intended purpose for helping students understand the areas of strengths and others as they needed. This is according to the Yale Daily News. By the way, grade distribution in economics was the most difficult subject, with a 52.39% of students earning an A inside of there. You know, I have to tell you, I think it's always kind of weird when you hear people talking about, yes, I went to college and this was my grade point average. How many job interviews have you been into where somebody has asked you what your grade point average was? I'm just asking because I don't recall any of that happening to me. But then, hey, we both live different worlds there in regards on how that stuff works. So think about it.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
So, two major airline carriers based out of the West Coast announced plans to merge over the weekend. Alaska Airlines will acquire Hawaiian Airlines for $1.9 billion if it's approved by the federal regulators. The plan would centrally locate the operations for both airlines out of Seattle, where Alaska Airlines currently operates, but maintains separate brands. Alaska would acquire nearly $1 billion worth of Hawaiian Airlines debt and pay $18 per share, well above the $4.86 above the market price for the end of last week. If all goes according to plan, the deal would close in 12 to 18 months. This is via CNBC. Now, keep in mind, too, that Alaska had acquired Virgin, or parts of Virgin Airline, a while ago. So we'll see how that goes. That's for sure. Take a listen to this coming out of Ohio. Ohio is the home recorded breaking number of life-size nutcrackers. The annual holiday displays features over 200 larger-than-life creation, many of which were created to look like iconic characters and celebs, including Dean Martin and the cast of Wizard of Oz. It all started back in 2015 when woodworkers Mark Nelson wanted to bring light and life to downtown. The village featured 50 nutcrackers. This is according to People. Nutcrackers. So there you go. I mean, what do you think? That's different, no doubt about it. Anyways, let's talk about the movies and the box office over the weekend. It went something like this. This is what it sounded like. At number 10 was Thanksgiving with $2.6 million. At number 9 was Silent Night with $3 million. At number 8, The Shift with $4.3 million. At number 7, Animal with $6.1 million. At number 6, Napoleon with $7.1 million. At number 5 was Wish with $7.4 million. At number 4, Trolls Band Together with $7.6 million. At number 3, Godzilla -1, $11 million. At number 2, here is what happened. Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Songbird and Snakes with $14.5 million. And at the number 1 spot, in case there was any doubts, Renaissance, a film by Beyonce with $21 million. Yes, and I said $21 million. So there you go. Don't know if you made it to the box office over the weekend, but hey, if you did, there was a chance that maybe one of the movies that I just mentioned was something that you saw. I don't know. I'm just saying, because that seemed to be like the popular thing over the weekend in regards of what the hell was going on. What do you think? You say no? You say yes? You say something? I don't know. I don't know. Just something to think about. Anyways, let's do this. Let's bring some Erin Royale into our life and let her tell us about some money matters.
Apple is looking to end its partnership with Goldman Sachs. Silvana Anau has more.
A source telling CNBC that the tech giant proposed to end the partnership with the bank in the next 12 to 15 months. The move would mean that Apple needs to find a new financial partner for its credit card, the Apple Card, and for its high-yield savings account. The partnership was extended a year ago through 2029. Goldman declined to comment.
With many families feeling financial pressure, avoiding unnecessary holiday spending becomes more acute. Rebecca Hughes explains.
Family finance expert Elizabeth Kiss says holiday spending can be like an addiction, so it's important to make a list, plan a budget, but most importantly, base those decisions on this question.
What is the minimum that we need to have a joyous holiday? For most people, it's way less than what they're actually thinking they need to do.
She says the biggest mistake people make every year is thinking they can use credit temporarily.
I'm just going to write it out until February when I can file my income tax, and then I use the majority of the refund to put down my credit card bill. I may not always pay it all off. I've been still paying my credit card from the last 2 holidays.
I'm Rebecca Hughes.
Meta is offering more details about its advertising policy for the coming election cycle. Matt Mattinson has the story.
The Facebook and Instagram parent will require advertisers to disclose whether they used artificial intelligence to create or alter a political or social issue ad. Also, new political ads will be blocked during the final week of the U.S. elections.
JP Morgan Chase is warning that inflation could rise more and a recession is still possible. CEO Jamie Dimon said at the New York Times Deal Book Summit in New York City that interest rates could continue to go up. He noted that governments across the world are needing more money for their militaries and to address energy concerns, and that would contribute to inflation. Dimon said that while the U.S. labor market has been stable, inflation is hurting people. Consumer and Business News, Erin Royale, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Erin, for that information right there. Let's talk a little bit about what I was able to locate. The Dow increased by 294 points to close at 36,000. 245 on Friday. The S&P gained about 26 points to close at 4,594, and the NASDAQ added about 78 points to close at 14,350. West Texas Intermediate closed at $74 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $79 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.24 on Sunday. Bitcoin gained over the weekend, passing the $40,000 mark on Sunday evening. There was more than 3,421 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Sunday, with about 70 or so such cancellations. Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for $377 million or $175.4 million cash payout. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $412 million jackpot or $194 million cash payout.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So there you go. If you want to play, you still have a chance to play the game. So let's talk a little bit about this, because we talked about it last week because we weren't sure what was going on. So I'm going to jump into this. It turns out that Mark Cuban is liquidating assets and saying goodbye to the Shark Tank in order to spend more time with his family. Speaking to NBC, Cuban shut down rumors that he's making room for his busy calendar to take a shot at the White House, saying that his family would disown him if that was the case. As previously reported, Cuban announced that he will leave ABC show next year and is selling off the majority stake of the Dallas Mavericks. He also said recently that he hinted at investing in a massive hospitality and sports complex in the Dallas area that would even include a casino, which could first require legislative approval in Texas. So there you go. Now you kind of know some of the plans of what the hell he was doing. So there you go. There you go. There you go. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, that's for sure, on what's going to happen next. No doubt about that one. Anyways, let's talk real quick about some of the things that are going on inside of the world. The Motor City Youth Theater is putting on 2 new productions this month. Co-founder Nancy Floriski says that the production are open to kids in the 2nd grade and through high school, regardless of their experience, and also open to anyone with special needs.
The thing that our kids do, it's everything. They get to do the behind the scenes. They help change the scenery. We do not have parents running around waiting on the kids. The kids do everything. And they become very responsible.
So there you go. They become responsible. Co-director Michael Meligetti says that everyone can be part of the show. One show is an adaptation of Les Miserables, and the other is called Jonathan's Wish, and is based on a book about a young boy and his teddy bear. Co-director Michael Meligetti says that everyone can be a part of the show. This is how he said it.
What's unique about our program is that we have all kinds of students, and we have this year a lot of special ed and special education needs students. And the thing that makes us different is that we don't do like a special production for them. They're just part of the show.
You're just part of the show, baby. That's the way that it goes around there, no doubt about that. Anyways, let's talk about this real quick. This is the cost of Christmas has gone up. Bree Tennis has the details.
Every year, the good people at PNC Bank release their Christmas price index. And this year, inflation has bumped up the cost for the 12 days of Christmas presents by about 2.7%. If you were to purchase all 76 gifts from the English Carol, from the 12 drummers drumming to the partridge in a pear tree, you would now have to drop $46,729.86. Gift wrapping and shipping not included. I'm Bree Tennis.
Well, that doesn't sound like a great deal. $46,000 and change in regards of not even having a gift wrap. What is going on there? No doubt about that. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of this worldo, because why would we not talk about this? So here you go. Let's talk about this one. Coming out of Washington, D.C., the chair of the House of Intelligence Committee says that there is a breakdown in intelligence in Israel that helped allow Hamas' October the 7th attack to catch everyone by surprise.
It's been amazing to have our intelligence committee now working closely with the Israeli intelligence committee and see the gaps that they have.
Speaking on CBS Face the Nation, Ohio Congressman Mike Turner says that U.S. intelligence community has been working closely with Israel intelligence, turned praise to CIA Director William Burns on negotiating for the release of hostages. He added that Burns is playing a major role in helping Israel locate Hamas leadership in the mission to eliminate any threat of the group. Also, Mike Turner says that the intelligence isn't only the reason that Hamas's October the 7th attack was surprising.
But the other aspect that made this so dangerous is that even when October 7th began to unfold, their forces didn't react. They didn't have the deployment ability to respond, not just the intelligence ability to prevent it.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on there. No doubty-outy about that one. What do you think there? Makes you kind of wonder about some stuff as we are talking. Anyways, Utah Governor Spencer Cox wants college and universities to remain neutral on current events so students will be encouraged to engage in dialogue on issues.
The institutions themselves need to be neutral so that we can have these disagreements. We want actually more disagreement on campus. There's a better way to do that. We can disagree without tearing each other apart.
Yes, I agree with that. There is a way to do that without tearing each other apart. That is for sure. Liner.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, there you go. That was a good one. Sorry to cough in your ear. Don't you love that one? Apologize about that. Anyways, one GOP presidential hopeful says that he'll announce his health care plan come this spring.
Obamacare promised lower premiums. It didn't deliver that. We know we need to go in a different direction.
So speaking on NBC's Meet the Press, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says that he plans to replace Obamacare with a better plan. DeSantis didn't go into details other than saying that he'll provide coverage at the lowest possible price. DeSantis says was campaigning in Iowa Saturday, completely full glossery in the state. DeSantis says that the campaign in all of 99 Iowa's counties, a feat made famous by Iowa Senator Chuck. Florida governor also says that he's gathering input before rolling out his health care plan.
Probably in the spring, we'll roll out a big proposal. I've got a lot of input that's been coming in from a lot of good people around the country, but we will definitely be addressing insurance.
DeSantis says that his health care plan would focus on lowering prices and protecting people with pre-existing conditions.
What I think you're going to need to do is have a plan that will supersede Obamacare, that will lower prices for people so that they can afford health care, while also making sure that people with pre-existing conditions are protected.
I mean, wouldn't that have been the goal the whole time around anyways, was to essentially get to a place where things can be lower? I'm just asking the question because that's the way that it comes across. Anyways, take a listen to this. For 6 days next year, national parks in the U.S. will be open free of charge. Scott Carr has the info.
The days that U.S. park goers can get into national parks for free include 3 holidays: Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Veterans Day, and Juneteenth. In addition, all national parks will feature free admission on April 20th, August 4th, and September 28th. Some parks may charge fees for some activities, such as camping and fishing, while parks that are operated in partnership with other parties, such as states, might charge other types of fees. I'm Scott Carr in Washington.
Okay, thank you, Scott Carr in Washington, for letting us know what the hell is going on. It is that time to do that thing that we do around now.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So, here we are on a Monday. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I always get into this time of the year, and it's kind of one of those weird times. And it's not because of the slew of holiday stuff that's about to happen. And it's not because of the slew of birthdays that I get to interact with because of all the people that are related to me that have birthdays in the month of December. Apparently, you know, February, March was not the time to go visit family members. That's a whole other story if you can figure out math. So some stuff to think about that. And with that being said, it's interesting as we get into this time, because I always feel that once we get, and yes, I did say feel, when we get around this time of the year, it's that whisper cry, a love that died, another dead embrace. And it seems that we get to this time of the year where people do a couple of interesting things. And I say a couple and probably mean more like a few interesting things, not just a couple. It's either that whole thing that I look back at time and say, well, I didn't do this, and this that I said I was going to do. Or, I turn around and go, I have to start making my new plans for my next year's resolutions because of the things that I want to do this year that I didn't accomplish the year before, or the current year that we're in, however you want to look at it. And I never know how to look at it, because is it the whisper? Is it the crying because of the stuff that you didn't accomplish, or are you really trying to accomplish something new? And how long does a New Year's resolution actually last? Because people get weird about them, like all the time. Not kind of. It's like it's all over the place. And listen, if you need something like that, a calendar change, a year change for this to get you excited about doing something, well, good for you. But I want you to incorporate some of this into your work. Because some people do, and some people don't. But if you incorporate some of these New Year's resolutions, some of these whispers and some of these cries on things that you want to change, what would be that battle cry right now? What would be the thing that you look at and go, this is what I want to accomplish? And for anything that I ask here, as we are talking, please don't say it's the drive to zero. Because, I mean, it's great to hear that, but let's be realistic. Not possible. No incidents whatsoever. Okay, yeah. Reality check, baby. So think about it. What do you see your battle cry being for 24? And listen, I know we need to live in the present and all that kind of fun stuff, but it's that whisper cry during this time of the year that it starts going, and you start hearing, and you start wondering, what is going to happen? What is going to occur? What is it that people want to change? Why are people focusing on this? What is it that happened last year on something that could have been accomplished but wasn't accomplished? Or what happened that it was accomplished, and what other things do you want to work on? So with it being right now, the 4th of December, this means you have the opportunity to work on things. If this is what your battle cry is going to be for next year. Also, personal goals. Do you have one? Do you have several? What do you want to accomplish within the next year? Let those whispers and cries that are occurring now be something that you work on to go forward with. Don't let it just be another dead embrace. Just saying, because you have some times to be able to move forward and change things, but you have to focus and put energy towards. Don't let your goal become a wish, because a goal without laid out instructions on how you're going to get there is exactly that. It's just a wish.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobile.io. That's mobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know Our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
They'll never see us cause we're moving the night. We're always ready if they put up a fight. I'll run, I'll climb, we'll outshine. You were wrong, I think it's worth it to try. So listen up, I'm calling your bluff, calling your bluff. Yeah, give it up, I think you've had enough. We're renegades.
Okay, 42 minutes past the top of the hour. We're still being renegades here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, this right here is Tiger Run. Yeah, that's the song. Really, that's the artist. Renegades is the song. Available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. You know, give it a little streamer-eamer action as Tiger Run allows us to play this here.
Yeah, give it up. Think you've had enough.
What do you think? Do you like it? I like it.
We're renegades.
Okay, the Renegades are coming your way, no doubt about that.
We're renegades.
Always a fun time as we get to listen to some music here with you.
Catch me if you can.
Yep.
We're renegades.
So there you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm having some fun this morning. Yeah, lovely Monday. I love it. I really do. I mean, I look at the weekend and go, it's just a few more days of the weekend. We can do some things and then come back and get all back into it because there is no doubt of everything that is going on inside of the multiverse. No doubt about that. Anyways, with that being said, let me tell you about the most important thing that I'm ever going to tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Far right-hand side on the website, by the way. To write love on her arms. Yep, that's it. That's the process. That is the simplicity of what is going on. To write love on her arms. TWLOHA.com. What do you think? What comes to mind? What do you think about? I'm just asking the question, just looking for the answers. I got the answers, but I forgot the question. Maybe that's it. No, I'm just joking. Anyways, to write love on our arms, TWLOHA.com. So there you go. The sequencing of events, of things to talk about, no doubt about that. So keep that in mind as we are talking. There you go. There you go. Anyways, take a listen to this. McDonald's has announced that it's making major changes to its burgers, including the use of brioche bun. Back in April, the restaurant promised pillowy buns, perfectly melted cheese, and plus perfectly cooked patties, and now it has all the detail. By early next year, consumers and customers of all the U.S. McDonald's location can expect not only the different bun, but more sauce on the Big Mac, fresher tasting onions, lettuce and pickles, and meltier cheese. The restaurant also promised that it has just 6 patties that will be grilled at a time rather than 8. With preferred patties, the auto cooking mechanism will apply less pressure, with it reportedly resulting in juicier burgers. Sesame seeds will be spaced further apart. All is well, right? Because one thing is that keeps them away from the McDonald's is that they've always found a way that they're just always putting more sesame seeds too close together. I mean, that's what I think of. I can't go to McDonald's because the sesame seeds are on top of each other. I don't know. Like, when was the last time you went to McDonald's? I mean, do you go to McDonald's frequently? That's not a place that I normally frequent. I normally probably will go there minimally once, probably every 2 years, once a year or something like that, just to see if I like it. But that's just me. Who knows? It's kind of a weird place. I never understand it.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Okay, so take a listen to this. Red Lobster has apparently learned nothing from its endless crab debacle back in 2003. So the seafood chain plans the ultimate endless shrimp promotion become so popular that the major factor is that its parent company is losing $11 million in the third quarter of this year. Red Lobster made the $20 all-you-can-eat shrimp deal a permanent fixture on the menu in June on a way to boost traffic, but miscalculated how popular the promotion would be. The price has since then increased to $25. It was a good idea, but it became overkill. Hey, at least I didn't make a bad shellfish on punch. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. Have you participated in this Red Lobster thing? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. I'm asking you a question. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, take a listen to this one. Do you sometimes struggle to stay awake, alert at work on Mondays or any other day? Or have you ever even found your head starting to fall forward in another unusual place? Well, the good news is that you're not alone. A poll of 2,000 adults found that 22% of us have drifted off while at work. Others admitted that dozing off in a nightclub or a bar was about 12%, or even at a wedding, 5%. Why are these people so tired? The top answer is, well, are you ready for the top answer? Why they didn't get enough sleep is because they didn't get enough sleep. Or overthinking. That was 57%, followed by being too cold and working too hard. Other excuses include noisy neighbors, uncomfortable beds, nightmares, and money worries. These people are telling you the truth, but you try explaining to your boss that he caught you sleeping on the job because you were working too hard. I'm sure that that's going to go over too well. And I got to admit that I have the occasion that when I've been to doze off while in a bar, but not because of any other reason mentioned here. So there you go. Some stuff going on real quick. So some things happening, some things going inside of the multiverse. And so that is what happens as we are talking. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on. What do you think? Have you ever been caught dozing off inside of the workplace? I was always told that if you were ever dozing off at work, make sure that if you had your hand on your head and somebody starts talking and you lean up, the first thing that you say is, amen.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I'm just telling you what I was told. I didn't say it was the right way to do it. Anyways, a SeaTac man is being sentenced for his role in a call center scheme that defrauded people from over $1 billion. Yes, I said billion with a B dollars. Brad Ford has more.
Federal prosecutors say Arif Khan Pathan had dozens of victims in the U.S. Homeland Security was tipped to the operation when suspicious packages filled with cash started to appear at Seattle UPS and FedEx facilities in 2020. Victims said they received a call from a person claiming to be from Social Security and their number was compromised. They were told to send cash to an agent for safekeeping. Pathan defrauded people of $700,000. He was sentenced to a year in prison. Brad Ford, NBC News Radio.
How do you do that? I mean, that's going to be an interesting one for sure, no doubt about it. Anyways, take a listen to this. There is new scientific evidence of reinforcing the importance for Virginians to getting enough sleep. Why only Virginians? Why can't it be everybody? Take a listen to this.
The CDC and other health organizations say about a third of Americans are not getting enough sleep.
It's essentially another pandemic that we are experiencing.
Nurse and sleep expert Susan Harris says sleep controls everything in our life.
It controls us physically, emotionally, socially, behaviorally, nutritionally, cognitively, everything you can imagine.
She says sleep is the most underestimated and underutilized health aid in our modern society. When healthy, adults should sleep 7 or more hours every night. I'm Rebecca Hughes.
I want to go into a meeting and mention that. I want to say I have behavior issues because I haven't had enough sleep. What do you think? Do you think that will work? Just asking. I'm just trying to figure it out. Anyways, take a listen to this. Oxford University Press is picking the word of the year. Take a listen to this.
Riz was given the honor for 2023, with OUP saying in a release that it was chosen as an interesting example of how language can be formed, shaped, and shared within communities. Riz, short for charisma, is defined as style, charm, or attractiveness, and has become popular online among younger generations. I'm Chris Carangio.
Okay, so thanks, Chris, for that information right there. Take a listen to this one. Shots are fired during an attempted robbery outside of a famed New York City hamburger joint. David Folk Thomas reports.
It happened around 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon on the corner of East 74th Street and 3rd Avenue, outside J.G. Mellon Restaurant. The New York Post reports a 22-year-old man was standing outside as he waited for a table when he was approached by 2 individuals who demanded he hand over his watch. When he refused, a struggle ensued and a shot was fired. No one was hit and the 2 suspects then fled on a scooter. J.G. Mellon has been a fixture on the Upper East Side since 1972. David Folk Thomas, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Dave, for that one right there. No doubt about that. That gets pretty interesting right away. Take a listen to this one coming out of San Diego. A San Diego man who pleaded guilty to taking part of a death of a homeless woman in May is receiving 3-year suspended prison sentence. Ryan Hopkins expresses remorse in the courts before he was sentenced.
I promise I've learned from this and will be the best version of myself possible. I want to take a second to say I'm sorry to all you guys in the pain you have to go through.
Hopkins was the driver when Williams Innes allegedly shot a homeless woman sleeping on the street after he told the group chat that he was going hobo hunting. Innes shot Annette Pershal with a pellet gun in the head, leg, and torso, with one of the pellets rupturing her aorta. Hopkins pleaded guilty to aiding and abetting an assault with a deadly weapon. Innes is charged with first-degree murder and will have a hearing later this month. So there you go. Some interesting stuff there, no doubt about that. Anyways, let's see if we can change the way that things are going here. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. Today's quote was submitted by Nicholas. Jim Carrey said, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they've ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer." What a cool quote. I've been blessed in my life. I've had the chance to do so many things that I've wanted to do. Now, there are still some things on my list, and I hope I get to do them. But I also get what Jim Carrey is saying. These things are not going to make you happy forever. I've met so many people who have done very well for themselves, but they're still striving to find something that's missing. The answer for me is twofold. True love, I'm so fortunate to have found that, and more importantly, my relationship with God. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Gun suicides are at unprecedented high rates. Lisa Taylor reports.
Data from the CDC found that of the nearly 50,000 overall suicide deaths in 2022, about half of them were gun-related. The annual U.S. firearm suicide rate increased by nearly 11% from 2019 to 2022. The pandemic was listed as a potential cause for overall increases since it exacerbated known risk factors, including substance use and social isolation. I'm Lisa Taylor.
Utilities will need to replace lead drinking water pipes within a decade under a new proposed rule from the Environmental Protection Agency. The lead and copper proposal would require utilities to replace the lines regardless of the lead levels registered in water samples. That's designed to prevent future public health crises around drinking water, such as what happened in Flint, Michigan back in 2014. Health Update, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Sarah Lee, for that information right there. What do you think? Yeah, changing all this water stuff out, that's going to be pretty exciting stuff as we are talking. I mean, think about it. What kind of a cluster that's going to be. But, hey, it's important because we don't want, something to repeat to that extent as it did happen in Flint, Michigan. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. If I take a look around, let's see. Back on this date, back in 2022, in Indonesia, the highest volcano erupts. Clouds of gas and rivers of lava cover the island of Java, with some of the columns of ash blasting more than 5,000 feet into the sky. The last eruption that had occurred with that volcano was the year prior, and 51 people had died during that time frame. So to keep that in mind as we are talking. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Jin from BTS turns 31. Orlando Brown, 36. Ronnie Ortiz Magro, 38. Joe Thomas and, Lauren London both turned 39. Jelly Roll turns 39 as well. Jay Dermott turns 44. Tyra Banks turns 50. Jay-Z turns 54, Marissa Tomei turns 59, and Jeff Bridges turns 74 today. So there you go, if you're looking at some birthdays for today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, I have some of those for you. It's National Sock Day, International Cheetah Day, Cabaret Frank Day, National... let's not do that one. World Wildlife Conservation Day, Wear Brown Shoes Day, Santa's List Day, National Cookie Day, Walt Disney Day, and last but not least, it's Dice Day. Yeah, what is that?
Today is National Dice Day. It's dice in twos, die for one. Each cube has 6 numbered sides, and they date back to pre-recorded history, although historians believe they were used in Roman fortune-telling. Today, they're in board games like Monopoly and Bunko, and gambling like in craps. And it's doubles for the win, although the odds are against you. You have a 1 in 6 chance you'll hit that. I'm Bree Tennis.
Yes, doubles for the win. That's what it sounded like there. Sorry about that. Don't know how I hit that one button that it did the other button that made everything go haywire. So sorry about that. Things do happen as we are talking. It is 58 minutes past the top of the hour, so let me tell you this stuff relatively quick. If you need a random joke for today, try this. If I had $1 for every person who found me unattractive, I'd have enough money to make them find me attractive. Just saying. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. If you could give your city or town or region a new name better to reflect the type of place that it is, what would you call it? What else do we have? If you need something for the water cooler, try this. Question: 28% of men will ask for help with this over the holidays. What is it? Assembling their kid's gift. So there you go. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. If you want to hang out and take a listen to what the hell I have going on, I'll be going over to Radio Big for the next couple of hours or so. So you're more than welcome to come out with me and hang out. That's at radiobig.fm. That's the website. If you want to stay on Safety FM, you're more than welcome on doing that, where Sheldon Primus will talk about what's going on inside of the world of safety consulting. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Keep that in mind. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
They'll never see us 'cause we're moving the night. We're always ready if they